Alright guys, I really need to talk to you about MindLab Pro. This is a supplement which I have been using for a while. I've been using this supplement for a long time, okay, and I've actually made another video about this in which I think I called it something like the pill from Limitless, the Nootropic pill from Limitless, the film with Bradley Cooper. I'm sure you've seen it. And the essence of this film is that by taking this one particular pill, you're able to unlock your mind. You're able to access parts of your mind that you otherwise would not have been able to access, or that would have been like dormant within you. And the idea of actually taking a pill that can do all of that, that can let you, have increased memory, better articulation abilities, better creativity and effectiveness in what you're doing, more focus, more attention and mental energy. The idea of a pill being able to do that is very exciting to me, and it's been always something I've been looking at and experimenting with and researching. And I really now feel like I've got what you would consider a good nootropic stack. And I'm going to get into this in a second. I'm going to explain what I take and why. But firstly, I just wanted to share a bit more about MindLab Pro, because this is a supplement that I've actually been using pretty consistently for the last few months. And I have to say the results have been incredible. And I'm not just saying that, I've tried, there are dozens of nootropics I've tried. Like I've got, boxes of this stuff, of these nootropics that I've tried over the months and years even. I don't particularly like making negative videos. I don't like putting negative energy out there into the world. And so if I find something that hasn't worked or that doesn't work, I just don't use it and I don't make a video about it. So the reason that I'm making videos about these particular supplements that I'm going to share with you here is because they work, right? These really do work. And I've tried lots of them. I've experimented. I've tried different dosages. I've tried everything you can imagine relating to this stuff. Okay, and I found what I consider to be the most effective nootropic stack. The most effective nootropic stack. Now, I'm not going to get into the ingredients specifically. I'm not going to explain in detail how each ingredient works in this video because there are quite a few of them. Okay, I'm just going to explain like the main things that you can expect and the main benefits and the main feelings that you get by taking this particular stack. And by the way, guys, this relates to lucid dreaming directly. Okay, if you take this stack, you will have more lucid dreams because the ingredients included here are conducive to dreaming, to memory, to being able to focus and be aware. And so if you take these, although this is meant to be taken during the day, I would say take this about lunchtime, and it will give you focus throughout the day with whatever you're doing. That's not a bad thing, is it? Let's be honest. Like maybe you're at work, maybe you're working on your own project or studying, whatever you're doing, you're going to need more focus, and it's always a good thing to have more focus, right? So don't start thinking, oh, this isn't really a lucid dreaming pill directly, so I'm not interested, because it will give you more lucid dreams. It will improve your memory. It will improve the vividness and creativity within your dreams. So it does have a knock-on effect. But the main benefit for this stuff is it gives you intense focus with whatever you're doing. It gives you intense focus and mental capability, for lack of a better word. So the first thing I take, what I would consider to be the most important thing that I take, is a multivitamin, okay? A good, high quality multivitamin. Now the one I use is Performance Lab. And there's a few reasons for that, because they give a strong dosage. So if you look at the dosages here, I don't know how detailed you can see that, but the dosages here for this particular multivitamin are incredible. You've got all sorts of things here. You've got all of the B vitamins that you possibly need. You've got things like zinc, magnesium, calcium, copper, manganese, chromium, and like quite a few things that most multivitamins don't have, especially the B vitamins, right? B vitamins are essential for mental energy and physical energy actually. And the dosages here are really good. This is potent stuff, and for this reason it's expensive. And the dosage actually, they suggest four capsules of this a day. Now I only take 2. I happen to actually get several things, like for example I get B12 from this supplement, which I'll go into in a second, and I get a lot of my vitamins and nutrients from my diet as well. I have a very healthy plant-based diet in which I get a lot of the vitamins I need. So personally I feel like I only need to take 2 of these, but for most people you probably need to take 4. So that's the first one, a good multivitamin. A multivitamin, importantly, that can be absorbed easily into the body and into the bloodstream, and that has a high enough dosage of the active ingredients. You need to have a high dosage because otherwise it's just not going to be absorbed, or it's going to be absorbed and it's not going to do anything. Right, so you need to have a high enough dosage of these nutrients and vitamins. Second thing I take, very exciting, is MindLab Pro. Now MindLab Pro is a natural plant-based supplement which contains a few ingredients. I'm going to show you the ingredients it includes here. So it includes a few ingredients which I'm quite excited about. So you've obviously got vitamins, vitamin B6, 9 and 12. Vitamin B12 is particularly important for vegans because they are naturally deficient in that vitamin. But then once you start supplementing, like, you know, there's vitamin B12 in this, there's vitamin B12 in this and in this, you know, and it's also in nutritional yeast and a bunch of other things as well. So don't worry too much about being deficient if you're a vegan or plant-based or whatever. However, this in particular, MindLab Pro, contains cetocholine, known as, in this case, it's like a proprietary blend known as cognizin. Now, choline is very, very, very important for memory and for, you know, strengthening connections in the brain. Choline is incredibly important. You've actually probably seen, I've made videos and articles just about using choline on its own for lucid dreaming and for memory and for the brain. It's a very important, you know, thing. So this contains choline, it contains lion's mane mushroom. Now, cognizin and choline in general helps to digest or, you know, synthesize phospholipids, which are very, very important for your brain and neuron health. Now, phospholipids, you can actually get those from things like lecithin, I think I'm saying that right, which is like a powder that you can add to your smoothies. But in general, and by the way, I should preface this whole thing by saying in the morning, you want to, as well as these supplements, and in fact, before you take any supplement or pill whatsoever, right, you want to make sure that you're getting a few things. You want to make sure you're getting antioxidants in the form of things like amla powder, grapeseed powder, you know, berries, natural antioxidant rich things. And you want to make sure you're getting the essential fatty acids, the essential amino acids, with which your brain creates every other neurotransmitter, and it's a very, very important thing to make sure you get. If you don't do that, your brain's just not going to be functioning at an optimal level. And you can get these through, the easiest way is actually to just get what I get a packet of flax seeds mix, and it comes with like 50% ground flax seeds, or they're also called linseeds as well sometimes. And then the other 50% is made up of sunflower, pumpkin and sesame seeds. This mixture will give your brain more than it needs, right, to function at an optimal level. So if you combine that with things like choline, which is going to be, it's going to help to synthesize the phospholipids found in lecithin and things like this, your brain's going to be on fire. Like literally, I can't explain how focused that I can feel with this mixture. So MindLab Pro contains choline. It does actually contain sunflower lecithin, which is something which I was very impressed with, because what they've done is they've selected these ingredients to all interlink and complement each other. Very, very synergistic blend. This is a very, very good blend. To be honest, guys, there's all sorts of really good ingredients in this. In MindLab Pro, the important thing to notice though with MindLab Pro is there's no caffeine. Now, this is something which I am quite excited about. However, I do now sometimes use caffeine, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that. So let's say you've got your stack, right? You've got your multivitamin, you've got your MindLab Pro containing all the, you know, brain boosting cognitive enhancers that you need without the caffeine. And then you've got something which I also use, which is this. Now, Neuro is a supplement, a nootropic I should say, which is very, very highly reviewed online. You can find lots of testimonials for this thing. And this is also something I've been using for about a year now. I've been using Neuro for about a year now. And it does, although I haven't used it consistently for a year, you know, maybe I've had like days off, you know, if I travel I won't use it, for example. But I've been on and off experimenting with it. It does work. However, it does contain caffeine. Now, it contains what's known as naturally sourced caffeine from guarana. It also contains L-theanine. Now, there's an important thing to realise about caffeine. Caffeine in general, in terms of like in your coffee, in things like energy drinks and things like this, it's very bad for you. It affects your dopamine system in a negative way. You become dependent on it. It blocks your adenosine receptors, and it makes you feel, in general, just more tired. You know, the more you use it, the more often you have caffeine, the more tired you're going to feel, you know, long term. So in general, I would advise against using any sort of caffeine. However, in this particular nootropic, they have combined it with L-theanine, which lengthens the effects of the caffeine. So it means you don't get that crash, you don't get the jitters, you don't feel nervous or anxious or nothing like this, and you don't feel like you need to have more of it. You know, you can very easily just have one dose of this in the morning or in the lunchtime, and that's all you need for the whole day. Compare that to caffeine, where you don't have the L-theanine to balance it out. You might have a cup in the morning, then you feel tired after 2 hours, so you need another cup. And then at lunchtime you need another one. And then, you know, in the afternoon you might need a stronger one, or even a double espresso or something like this. And you go down this slippery slope of building up a caffeine tolerance. Very, very dangerous thing to get into. It's also highly addictive, so don't do that. However, this particular supplement, it does have some other redeeming qualities. Like it has the L-theanine to balance it out. It also has things like L-glutamine, bacopa, acetyl L-tyrosine, which is good for energy. You've got things like Korean ginseng, ginkgo biloba, zinc, iron, things like this. It's quite a good supplement, and I find that mixing this with the other things that I take, like the MindLab Pro, it sort of has a compound effect. It sort of boosts the other effects exponentially. It really does make a difference. That is why I use that particular thing. And then lastly, I just have one capsule of this. So I have one capsule of Performance Lab Energy, and this contains acetyl L-carnitine, which is essentially just a building block for the body for making energy. This is good for, having before a workout or things like this. It's also good for just overall brain and body energy throughout the day. So that is essentially my whole stack. That is the nootropic stack that I use currently. Sometimes I also use CILTEP, which stands for chemically induced long-term potentiation. I find that is more effective when I'm cycling off these other things. I sort of switch out for that nootropic, which contains a high amount of artichoke extract, which is very good for heart health and things like this, but it's also good for strengthening the neural connections in your brain. So these things, they all have a lot of benefits. What I would suggest to do though is, so multivitamin, of course, you should take this every single day. 7 days a week you should be taking your multivitamin. However, with things like anything containing caffeine, anything containing specific cognitive enhancers, like for example acetylcholine, lion's mane, L-theanine, to some degree sunflower lecithin, although that's not as bad to take every day. With things like this and the energy one with the acetyl L-carnitine, you want to take these on a cycle, meaning you don't want to have them every day. You want to have either a 5-2 split, so you take them 5 days a week and then you have the weekend off, or you have a 3-1 split in terms of 3 weeks on, 1 week off. But it's important to have this cycling with these things. What I would actually suggest to do, instead of doing the 3 weeks on, 1 week off, is just to treat it as a weekday thing. So just say, right, on weekdays I'm going to use cognitive enhancers, on weekends I'm only going to take a multivitamin, that's it. And what I actually do is I combine this with, I do intermittent fasting every day, so I won't have breakfast, I'll instead just wait until lunchtime and then eat within an eating window between 12 and 6. That's also good for digestion, metabolism, things like this. But what I will also do is on Saturday I won't eat at all. So I will have a meal, say Friday at 6 p.m. or 5 p.m. I should say, and then I won't eat anything at all until Sunday lunchtime. And what that does is that it gives your body a chance to detox, it gives you a chance to clear out the things that you're not using. It's also good for metabolism in a big way actually, digestion, things like this. But it also gives you that mental sort of separation between the weekdays and the weekend. It also really helps with, if you're cycling nootropics, it's going to really help you to get into the mindset of, right, weekend comes along, not going to take cognitive enhancers, and then when you get back to the weekdays, when you get back to Monday, you can get back on your regular cycle. So that is essentially my nootropic stack. The ingredients do tend to synergistically work together. However, what I would say is it's hard to do this if you're traveling. Nootropics, they have different laws in different countries. Some ingredients are not allowed in certain countries. They're kind of strict about this stuff, so it's harder to do if you're on the road all the time. However, it is a very effective way of boosting your cognitive abilities when you're home. Done. Thanks for watching, guys. This video and this channel was supported by my Patreon followers. Please consider giving just $1 a month to support this channel, or just click the links in the description. You'll find links to various lucid dreaming products, articles, techniques and tutorials. If you did enjoy this video, please click the notification bell and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Why are you still watching this? You should have clicked one of my related videos by now, right? Or subscribed or gone onto my website or something like that.